Good morning, everyone. Today we're checking out a brand new video from Popcross Studios with Pantheon Repos Episode 6, Astra Integrated. Let's hop in and see how the fight goes now that Tulsa has arrived on the scene.
Three's Mytholethal Pantheon Reapers, which, if you're new to it, you might want to start from the beginning. I'll link the playlist in the cards and the description. To give a brief recap of where we left off last time, our main family of heroes, Ordis, Mythal, Narati, and Sagan, have teamed up both with one of the Archon demons, Kaijagrex, as well as with the main Multiverse Tales group of heroes, the Sharp Gang, to wage war against the likes of the so-called Archonic goddess Tarsa, who has stolen all of the powers of one of the Archon demons, Cypheramov, so that she can use her techno-organic demon virus to infect people and creatures and turn them into her undead minions, and has also taken some of the powers of the leader of the Archons, Eldrorok. She has also made a new Imperium Pantheon to work as her minions as she starts to invade other universes, and
fun fact, if you haven't ever checked out that original video, each of these new gods in the whole Imperium and Pantheon only exist because they pretty much killed every other god that was in the Pantheon and took the power. Like with Freya, Anubis, Odin, and the Polynesian one.
Mention A141, where the current battles are taking place. Mythal has just killed the first member of Tarsa's Imperium Pantheon, Freya. This infuriated Tarsa enough to have her show up on the battlefield. She has Mythal in her clutches and has also infected the great dragon Needhog, who was helping out the good guys for a while but has now turned against them. The last thing we heard was Heath Hurricane Reynolds calling in the Reaper herself, Alexis Jones, the leader of the Sharp Gang, who Mythal has heard is very reluctant to kill Tarsa. Let's see where the story goes from here and get into it now, shall we?
Let's go. Hit like if you want. Subscribe
if you feel like. But either way,
if you feel
enjoy the show.
That's it. Subscribe if you feel like. Here we go.
If you leave,
first up, Unkillable Kate.
Where I will make you come back. You have to do it, Reaper, please. You have to kill me. It's not murder, it's mercy. The words echoed in Alexis Jones' head, drowning out the sound of the pastor. Any second, her rings could give her the message that it was time to return to Dimension F920 and wipe all life in it from existence.
Whoa.
Alexis was too emotionally exhausted to even anxiously twitch. Her insides felt hollow as she sat in the pews, unsure if she was putting her community in danger by having gone to church in her own dimension that day. There was nothing she wanted more than to feel comforted by a place and people that used to make her feel so safe and loved. But the comfort of this place had dwindled slowly over the last few years, then had fallen dramatically off a cliff when Alexis became the Reaper of the multiverse. Instead of feeling embraced, being here just made her feel more alone. The last line Alexis had actually heard the pastor say was, "Even in famine, the righteous will have more than enough." But then her own thoughts took over. What would the people here think if they knew about the 3 rings currently shrunk down and bound around her leg under her pants? Knew that she possessed powers created by a band of murderous demons? How would they react knowing that she had genuinely considered using powers made by demons to kill? Worse.
I mean, technically, okay, there's been many debates about this kind of thing for years. It doesn't matter how a power is created, it's all about how the power is used. A power could literally be made by God and be used to any evil intention you could think of, and a power created by Satan could be used for any good you could think of. I mean, hell, the Ghost Rider was actually an angel that worked for God, but fell to hell and was actually corrupted, through torture by Mephistos, turning it into a servant. But then, of course, Johnny Blaze came along, and instead of being a loyal servant that did whatever the devil wanted, it started doing good, taking out evil.
Worse than thinking she was despicable for wielding this power, she knew many of them may be more likely to condemn her for not using it. No matter how evil a person was, Alexis couldn't feel justified in condemning someone to endless torture for all eternity in hell. But she knew even her own fellow churchgoers would disapprove of that logic. They'd tell her that if someone was a bad person, was hurting and killing others, then it was her obligation to stop them. Exactly. Let God determine where their soul should spend eternity. Regardless, it wasn't an easy topic to jump into. These people didn't even know the multiverse existed. That alone had made it hard
Oh,
enough to
yeah.
feel connected to them and relate to their problems. Now, on top of all the other issues Alexis was already dealing with, her friend Sterling was comatose, and as much as they were trying to be considerate of her situation, she knew her whole team was frustrated with her. She knew they had a right to be too. Both these groups, her church and her team, were the people that used to make her feel at home. Now, they felt more like leering, scolding eyes, and Alexis didn't know how to fix it while doing what she felt.
I'm sorry. When was her blade broken? Was that during I don't know the confrontation with Tulsa, the prologue before this series, or was it in an episode I didn't watch? I thought I've been keeping up with everything since I started doing the 2 a week.
Was right, because she didn't even know what the right thing was. Her wristwatch buzzed, sending a pulse of dread through her. She pulled up her sleeve and read a transcribed message from Heath, who was on the battlefield in A141. Tarsa just showed up. Sorry, but you've got to get here, Alexis.
It's time.
Now. The hollowness inside expanded. She looked up, desperate for support, but not even knowing what to ask. Give me the strength to kill Tarsa? Give me the strength not to? After a few seconds of contemplation, she just rose from her seat, 1,000-ton weight seeming to hold her body down as she stood.
The only thing I think you'd be able to ask is, give me the strength to forgive myself for what I must do. Since you literally seem so against having to kill this egotistical megalomaniac bitch.
She walked quietly towards the doors. She hadn't truly felt like she could hear God speaking to her in months, so what was the point of asking for anything at all? Meanwhile, Mythil remained held by her head in Tarsa's mechanical tentacle, face to face with her oldest foe. Well, let's have it then. Hit me. Let me see what you're working with, and if this truly will be the challenge I desire it to be. I am generously giving you the opportunity to strike first, so you can see how pointless it is to attempt to face someone with the might of 2 archons. Sounds more self-aggrandizing than generous, but can you really call it the power of 2 archons? Eldrorok certainly did not seem to be at his full might, but you clearly don't have all his power. If anything, really, you're looking smaller than I remember. Skinnier. It is common for people to skip out on exercise more as they age, but I surely did not expect it from you. Tarsa's lip trembled, but she willed it to stop. Say what you will. I am glad to have this opportunity to end you. It will be a fitting start to the era of my rule over my multiverse. Tarsa's other claw thrust back, but before she could strike, a portal opened behind her. A figure leapt out and slashed a massive sword into Tarsa's shoulder. It barely sunk into her mechanical flesh, but the wound did sizzle slightly. Tarsa looked more irritated than injured. She swung her claw behind her towards the figure, who ripped her sword free, dove and rolled under the claw, then swung her blade at Tarsa's Achilles tendon. Tarsa grimaced, then thrust her foot out to the side, and the figure just barely pulled her head out of the path of the kick, rolled again, and sprang up near Mythil. Mythil glanced her up and down. Well, you certainly have the physique I imagined the Reaper to have, but I imagined you'd use weaponry more similar to my own. The pink-haired girl glanced at her. I'm not the Reaper. Oh, the Reaper's on her way, hopefully, but I wanted a few swipes at Tarsa myself first. Tarsa's claw shot for the girl's head again. She dodged it aside, just barely missing once more. But Tarsa still...
Man, imagine a sparring session between these two. That would actually be kind of crazy to see. You got Unkillable Kate versus literally the Reaper of Gods.
Snatched the end of her pink ponytail. Like it took no thought at all, the girl swung her sword behind her, slashed off the tuft of hair in Tarsa's grasp, then whipped the sword over her head and slammed it down right into the exact spot in Tarsa's shoulder she'd hit before, carving slightly farther into her flesh. What did you do to Sterling, Tarsa? The girl snarled. Tarsa nudged her shoulder up. It was little more than a dainty flick, but it had enough force to hurl the sword up into the air, out of the girl's grip. The tiresome fire boy? Why would I have wasted my time doing anything to one of the runts of your litter? He is not worthy of my attention. The girl leapt up and snatched her sword as it fell back down, using its momentum to swing it down again, once more hitting the exact spot in Tarsa's shoulder.
Triple
You're so
cleave.
full of it. You thought getting rid of him would cripple us as a team, but it's just made us more ready to rip your head off. The girl tore her sword free and held it sideways in front of her chest, seeming to know exactly Tarsa's next move. Tarsa thrust her claw forward to slam it into the girl's chest. Instead, Mythil snatched the claw and held it back,
Oh.
but barely. Sorry to cut in here, not that I'd gladly take Tarsa's side, but if Tarsa did harm one of your allies, I'm quite sure she'd be boasting proudly about it. The fact that she isn't suggests that she may be telling the truth. The
Ugh.
pink-haired girl looked at
That'd be
Mythil and
terrible.
opened her mouth, but paused. Huh, that's actually a good point.
Kate, are you nuts?
Heath suddenly sprang onto the building, snatched
Well, it doesn't mean I'm gonna not kill her.
the girl up, and leapt onto the next building over. Mythil yelled, "What? I was just warming up to the idea of fighting Tarsa with her." Heath yelled back.
One hit and she'd be dead. She's got no powers.
Mythil's jaw dropped open. You landed 4 blows on Tarsa with no abilities? You're officially my favorite of this band of heroes so far.
Enough of this.
Tarsa slammed Mythil's face into the building beneath her and drove her down and down, smashing her through every floor before cratering into the ground as the building crumbled on top of her.
That hurts.
Mythil ignited her White Shadow rocket boots and shoved debris off her as she burst up through the destroyed building. The instant she was free, a mechanical tendril struck her in the side of the face with so much force that she was hurtled backwards through 3 buildings. Mythil finally stopped and hovered a few streets over from Tarsa. She blinked one eye free from a stream of black blood pouring down from her forehead.
Ooh.
Well, I'll take that as confirmation that this will indeed be fun.
Hell yeah, it will. We got Unkillable Kate in the house! Who's gonna be next to enter the, this arena?
Blah blah, here's an ad for the Pop Cross Design Notes
Leviathan?
and Advice book. Still just stuck doing non-canonical ad stuff since I'm still dead.
Is that what's happening here?
Yeah, there's no way to revive you, jackass.
I don't get why I still feel like this if I'm dead.
Oh, hey drunk Loki.
What?
Drunk Loki! That needs to become a shot, just Drunk Loki.
Calling me that. If anything, I'm a little bit tipsy, Loki.
Yeah, no, sloshed like a stomped puddle of slush is more like it. Now, are you gonna help me advertise how this book has superheroes, kaiju, battle scenes, dragons and stuff, or am I working alone here with you as dead weight?
Hey, look at that. I still got my drink. You want a little bit?
Of course not, that stuff will kill you. See what I did there? Yeah, no, give me some.
Yeah, give me some liquor.
This is just freaking orange juice.
What?
No, it's just like the good, strong stuff. Frey gave it to me from another world.
No, have you seriously just been drinking orange juice? Is that canon? Why are you so bumbling then?
You're crazy. You're a weird hippo taste
Wait, it says orange juice and yet he's drunk like a skunk?
buds are just going all splurky on you.
Alright, well, you know what? This is your fault, Pop Cross, for thinking this clown and me would get anything done together.
I know, but I figured even if you guys are bad at advertising, I kind of just wanted to see you interact. Anyway, the
Agreed.
book is linked in the description. It's up on Amazon now,
Agreed.
and will be up on Blurb soon too. Now, back into the video.
You know what? Hold on. He's always done banter episodes before, but could we get a banter episode with the dead as well?
Mythil stuck her hand out to the side, and
here
in
we
it
go.
formed a sword similar to the one Kate had wielded. Mythil shot right back through the 3 buildings, got to the tower Tarsa had just crumbled, but didn't see her foe. Thankfully, her instincts kicked in, and she whipped around and held her blade out in front of her. One of Tarsa's claws slammed right through the weapon, bursting it into smoke, and hitting Mythil in the stomach. Mythil
Ow.
caught the claw, though, and yanked it towards her, trying to reel Tarsa in from the other building she was now perched on. Instead, the claw just stretched out farther, then wrapped around Mythil's neck, and smashed her down into the debris below.
Oh,
Tarsa's
damn
other
it.
claw came hurtling towards Mythil's head. Alright, I'll admit it, your new toys do seem like fun. Mythil chuckled as a white shadow tendril of her own formed and snatched Tarsa's in midair. Mythil then grabbed the one holding her neck with both hands and
Okay, I do want to say one thing. I did get a minor spoiler from this episode. Oh no, but it was only, it was like a clip, no, it was a comment post from Popcross himself about how this is like another episode of Mythil stealing out of someone else's tools or something like that. Because Actually, yeah, that is something she's doing. Every time she sees a brand new weapon, and she can't help but take it for a test drive. I mean, which is fair and honestly needs to be done. You give experience for every other weapon in existence.
Squeezed, immediately cracking the limb. Tarsa ripped Mythil towards her while having her mechanical flesh reform around her arm, making it into a massive armored gauntlet, similar to what Mythil had used against Freya.
You play with my toys, and I shall play with yours.
You don't got the white
Mythil
smoke.
raised her arms to block as the mechanical fist swung towards her, but Tarsa's strength massively outweighed her own. The fist striking Mythil sent a thunderous boom across the city as she was sent soaring down, once more crashing into the street.
Oh
Mythil
my.
wheezed in air. She'd never been hit like that in her life. She was still excited about this fight, but also knew she might need to take it a bit more seriously.
Yeah.
Mythil stood up and saw
Normal
a purple
time for
streak of
jokes.
light zip right next to Tarsa. Mara smashed a burly black fist of her own into Tarsa's head, making her stumble a step back. Mara struck her again with her other fist, then slammed her tail into Tarsa's nose. Tarsa swung her own massive fist towards Mara, who nimbly leapt over it, only to be snatched by one of Tarsa's tendrils and hurled into the distance.
Damn it, you gotta
That
cut off
made
those
Mythil look up
tendrils.
to focus again on the dragon, Needhog, now infected by Tarsa's virus and chomping up the remaining uninfected Valkyries. When it was done with them, it would very likely turn on the fleeing civilians and the city. Mythil saw Heath leaping across buildings, clearly headed for Tarsa. Mythil sprang straight into his path and snatched his arm, making them both start to spin upwards. Heath, I appreciate the urge to help, but let me handle Tarsa until your friend arrives. You will need to stop Needhog as soon as possible.
Yes.
Alright, fine. You, want to give me a lift up to him?
Mythil hurled Heath straight up at the beast.
There you go!
He soared like a rocket, and as far away as he got, Mythil still heard him yell.
Hurricane Hammer!
A tornado-like
Nice.
burst of wind exploded around the spot Heath struck, and the colossal beast was hurled nearly a mile off its course in the air. Impressive, Mythil said as she turned back to Tarsa.
Is she gonna copy that as well? Is she gonna somehow copy the Hurricane Hammer?
Her eyes locked with her foe, and she flew right towards her. Mythil didn't even have a weapon ready. She was going to improvise based on what Tarsa threw at her. Her foe was just waiting, like she wasn't going to do anything at all. Mythil got closer and closer, when Tarsa let out an agonized shriek.
Huh?
Mythil stopped in midair to see that a smoking, purple scythe had pierced right through Tarsa's stomach from behind.
Yes.
It hooked into her and ripped her off the building into the air towards a figure with 3 rings hovering
The Reaper has arrived.
around her head. She threw back her hand as Tarsa got close. The figure clenched her fist twice, and 24 boulders appeared in the air around her, then soared towards Tarsa, pummeling her. Tarsa thrust her tendrils towards her new foe,
Come
but
on.
the girl called her smoking scythe back, ripping it out of Tarsa and used it to slice off the ends of her tentacles. Jets fired out of Tarsa's feet, keeping her airborne, as the ends of her claws slowly reformed.
And so returns the most powerful coward in my multiverse. I appreciate you coming so I can kill you and take your powers as well.
Mythil
Oh.
had soared up behind Tarsa with a massive white shadow hammer in hand and smashed the so-called Archonic goddess in the side of the head,
Okay, so she did copy the hammer part of Hurricane Hammer.
sending her hurtling through the air. Despite the immense power emanating off her, Alexis appeared exhausted. Still, she looked Mythil over, then said, "You're one of the Quellers of Dimension M308, right?
Yep.
The original in the flesh. Well, perhaps original is unfair, given my powers are spawned from the ones you now wield, and as
Yes.
such, I'd be happy to allow you to take the lead in this dance." Mythil held in the back of her mind what Eldrurok had said of this Reaper, but had no intention of fighting her. Unless it became necessary.
Oh,
With
yeah,
all
only-
the clear
only
destruction
then.
and death Tarsa was responsible for, there was no way Alexis would really try to justify not killing her, right? Alexis
I hope
nodded,
not.
then hesitantly said, "Thank you." She clenched her fist twice again, and more boulders appeared in the air. She then
Come on.
punched her fist into her palm and twisted it, saying, "Mineral reformation, Ruby Serpent." The
Ruby
stones all
Serpent?
lined up and combined, shifting form to become red crystalline stones in the shape of a giant snake. Mythil couldn't help
Ooh.
noticing an elevated sense of distress as Alexis used this ability. She couldn't understand why, it looked awesome. Alexis thrust her hand forward and the ruby stone serpent burst through the air towards Tarsa.
Hell
the Archonic
yeah.
goddess gave a fierce battle cry as she hammered her armored fist into the serpent, shattering it to crimson shards. Just for Mythil to soar through the cloud of debris and thrust another white shadow claw like Tarsa's into her foe's head, sending her spinning back through the air and crashing into a passing infected jet that exploded into a fireball around her. Alexis called out, "Ruby Stone Seekers!" All of the shattered gems from her serpent suddenly fired towards Tarsa, pelting her with dagger-like shards. Exposed parts of Tarsa's flesh were torn up. It was much more damage than Mythil had managed to deal to her foe. Mythil was in awe of Alexis's power. Alexis then soared closer, thrusting her hands to the side and parting the remaining shards in her path like a red sea and swinging her scythe at Tarsa. Tarsa raised her burly fist and the blade carved into it, but didn't make it all the way through. Tarsa swung both her fully reformed claws around her to smash into Alexis's head from either side, but Mythil caught them both, holding them back, while Alexis flew in a flash to Tarsa's other side and slashed her across the back with her scythe. Tarsa couldn't hold back a groan of pain. Tarsa yanked her claws in, bringing Mythil along with them, but ducked out of the way and hurled Mythil right into Alexis. They smashed into each other, but Alexis instantly shook off the strike and flew at Tarsa again, swinging her weapon. Tarsa held her hand forth, with red orbs of light bubbling around it. Alexis started slowing down. She knew this feeling. It was Eldrorok's power. Still, Tarsa clearly didn't have as much of it as she wanted to think. Alexis still managed to keep moving. Tarsa reformed the end of one of her tentacles into a glowing green blade, sending it right for Alexis's stomach.
Come on!
Mythil shot forward, formed a broad-bladed sword again, and used that to block. But the blow hit hard enough that Mythil was forced back, once more smashing into Alexis, sending both of them spinning out to the side.
Alexis, you need to pay attention.
Reaper? Terrible first impression I'm making. Don't call me that, Alexis snapped. Sorry, call me Alexis. Works for me, Alexis. Mythil was growing more and more interested in what Ortis would have to say about this girl's aura, but he was busy helping the others with Needhog.
I wonder what it looks like. Oh yeah, looks like it's time for a three-piece. Okay, here we go.
Ortis stood atop a roof next to Kayla. He held
Astra.
two glowing blue shields up, blocking the oncoming fire as a jet soared towards them. Ortis's shields ate up all the bullets coming their way, and just as it passed over them, Kayla fired a bolt of condensed energy right into the ship's hull, erupting it and sending its remains crashing into a building a few blocks over. Nice shot,
nice
Kayla,
walk.
Ortis said, glancing at her mechanical symbiotic ally. So do you have any relation to Tarsa's infection, Charlie? Are you a benevolent variant of it? Charlie replied, Nope, I know I look and move similar to her shifty mechanical virus, but I'm not a virus, I'm just a helping hand, literally sometimes. Us Biomechs and Cypheromov's virus looking similar is just a coincidence as far as I know. Biomechs. Fascinating. And if you attach to me, I'd be rendered unconscious for being an overseer.
Oh, yeah.
Admittedly, I think I want to test that out. When we're in less dangerous circumstances.
Oh, yeah, no, clearly.
Ortis looked up at the titanic dragon above. Heath had clearly heard it with his punch, but he'd also used so much power that he was running on empty. He'd clearly hoped that the biggest hit he could throw would finish it. Astra, in her own steaming dragon form, was trying to tear the beast's uncovered flesh apart, but was barely breaking skin with her fiercest swipes.
Come on now.
She seemed extra furious that a beast under her mother's control was so resilient. Typhon's Beastender would certainly finish this thing off, but it hadn't gotten nearly dire enough to risk using that again. Ortis had heard over the team's watches that some of their allies had met up with Narati, Sagan, and Kaiju Grex. Ortis was starting to think Grex himself would be the only one strong enough to take Needhog down, with Mythil and now the Reaper tied up with Tarsa. But he didn't want that to be true. Ortis saw how determinedly this team was fighting, and kinda wanted to see them take the win without Grex's help. He noticed that a bunch of them, despite how they spoke, seemed quite stressed, and a win against this thing could mean a huge boost to morale. Ortis wanted to find a way to support them in taking the victory with their own skills. He used his Overseer vision to look at the energetic structure of the various team members to see if there was any suggestions he could make.
What,
interestingly,
like a combo move?
The abilities of Mara's energetic structure showed clear signs that her own abilities bore demonic origins, and had some similarities to Tarsa's infection.
There is a good chance she wouldn't die if infected because her own demon energy made her immune, but the virus would still very likely render her unconscious and control her, as it answered to Tarsa's will. Ordis looked at a few others before focusing on Astra. Immediately in her energy makeup, he saw direct similarities to Tarsa and to her virus. Not only did the energy she shared with Tarsa mean she'd be immune to dying from the virus, but it also meant that she may be able to control it.
Yes!
Kayla, Charlie, can you patch me through to Astra?
That is going to be a dangerous maneuver, but yes!
Kayla nodded. Astra, we've got Ordis for you. He leaned closer to Charlie. Astra, I have a plan to take down Needhog and possibly even Tarsa, and you are an essential element of it. Can you come to me? With a draconic voice, she growled.
This is actually going to be kind of cool because you got a granddaughter and a daughter about to fight the mother-grandmother.
Sticking it to my mom's massive ego?
Tulsa.
Absolutely.
Screw it.
She dove straight down from Needhog towards Ordis. Within a few seconds, she got close and spread her wings. She halted in midair above, then her draconic form vanished in a swirl of steam, and she dropped in front of Ordis. In the seconds it took for her to come down and land, Ordis' subconscious had processed a torrent of information. Astra was Tarsa's daughter.
Oh,
but
yeah.
From how Astra spoke and acted, she clearly resented Tarsa and wanted to prove she was nothing like her. That also made it likely that Astra would respond poorly to assertive and arrogant leaders or parental figures. Ordis knew she'd be very hesitant to attempt what he had in mind, given how much she hated Tarsa, so to get through to her he had to speak in a way she'd respond well to.
I would just be straight up, be like, you need to get infected with that Cypheroma virus from Tulsa. I know that sounds crazy, but you apparently shows an aura genetic makeup, whatever the hell, to her, because you're her daughter, like you said. But you should be strong enough to actually hold back the virus so it doesn't take you over for her will, but should allow you to take over others.
Knowing what her relationship with her father was like would help, but he had to go with his gut and assume that a more gentle and supportive, yet still firm, tone would be an ideal contrast to her hatred of people like Tarsa. He spoke in that manner. Astra, you're an overseer, so you have the overseer's ability to see the energetic structure of beings and creatures, correct? Obviously, I'd be a pretty garbage overseer if I couldn't, she said, crossing her arms, impatient to hear the plan. The way she spoke, Ordis could tell she subconsciously expected people to be easily irritated with her, and maintained a sarcastic tone that made it more likely people would be. He was unfazed and made sure that was clear in his still calm demeanor. Look at Tarsa's infection. You see the purple and green streak lining the core of it near its center? She rolled her eyes. I don't need to. I've seen it hundreds of times, and yes, I know that's in me too. Thanks for reminding me of something I have in common with a demon virus, though.
No, that's calm. What's needed.
Astra, it means you're definitely immune to Tarsa's virus as a result of being so closely related to her. You may even be able to take control of her minions. Her eyes narrowed skeptically. What? I mean, I obviously knew I was immune, but I didn't want her to have the satisfaction of getting in my head. She smirked. I hadn't considered that I could get inside hers and her little metal ghouls, though. Ordis nodded, locking eyes with her.
Do it!
I can help with that, but in order to do it, the virus will have to recognize you as an authority on par with Tarsa. To achieve this, you'll have to access the parts of your personality that are most similar to her. No part of my personality is like Tarsa, Astra snapped furiously. Just because I'm related to her doesn't mean I'm like her. I hate her and every little grubby inch of her existence.
I would just, at that point, it's like, hey, Astra, you don't have to worry about that. My wife is one of her grandkids, great-grandkids. Septuple grandkids. Whatever!
Needhog shrieked up above. In his peripheral, Ordis saw a streak of purple getting tail-smacked out of the air and erupting into a distant building. Astra whipped around to see her fallen friend. If I need to be like Tarsa to do whatever it is you're thinking, then I'm out. I can't do it. Ordis reached to grab her shoulder as she tried to leave, but pivoted quickly to grab her hand. Firmly but gently, trying his best to not show any aggression that could be remotely considered similar to Tarsa. Astra, wait. He hesitated slightly internally.
Teaching Astra what he was about to had a good chance of working, but it would also be basically trying to force her to speed run the kind of personal growth that had essentially taken Ortis 80 years to master in the dark 8 decades of his life. If she took the wrong lesson away from it, he could end up pushing her to becoming someone just like Tarsa.
I actually am still curious about the dark 8 decades. Would we actually ever get an episode on that?
Or like Ortis's old rival from...
You know what? They'll probably will, but I have a feeling it's going to be locked behind in a book purchase. When this series is done and it becomes a book, it's going to be an extra chapter in the book with a URL code or QR code to that episode. I can already see it.
From that time, McKeeve. She stopped and he released her hand as soon as she looked back at him. Astra, what if doing this, temporarily accessing the part of you that is like Tarsa, could save all of your friends and thousands of people here today? Would you still be so resistant to doing it, just to avoid having people think you're anything like your mother? Astra opened her mouth, but paused. She closed it, letting him go on.
Yeah, there you go.
Astra, in the thousands of years I've been alive, the one lesson I've learned that dominates all others is that every single person has the capacity for all personality traits.
Exactly.
Every person has the capacity for every act of overwhelming love and despicable cruelty. Most people's personas that they so desperately try to assert are the real them is really just a subconscious drive to emphasize traits they were praised for when they were younger and repress the ones that other people made them think were unacceptable.
Exactly.
No part of you is actually unacceptable, but there are ways
all
to use
you.
those traits for good or for bad, and repressing them just makes it all the more likely that they'll come bursting out of you right when you don't want them to. If you accept that you
Like a person with anger issues that definitely needs therapy.
have all of Tarsa's traits in you and choose to use them for good, that is the only way to ensure that the so-called darkness that's in you gets used for something good.
Exactly.
Astra clearly wanted to argue. She wanted to assert again that she wasn't like her mother, but she looked to the side and saw Needhogg, now swooping through the tops of towers, chasing after Heath, who was struggling to bound away with his remaining strength. Okay, let's pretend I might be open to this idea. What even is the idea? Ortis smiled.
You
warmly
take control
and
of the
confidently.
army.
You channel your
Needhogg.
inner Tarsa, get infected by her virus, then use all of her own strength against her. Tell me, what do you hate most about Tarsa? Well,
How about the fact that she was a shit mom and literally only had me, so that I could literally just grow up into her to take over dimensions with her. I'm not even kidding. That was Astra's backstory, remember? Tarsa only ever had Astra just so Astra could grow up into a new Tarsa. That was it.
that'd have to be how she's a disgustingly self-involved narcissist who thinks she's better than everyone else who ever existed. Ortis nodded. Good. Now tell me with full certainty that you believe you're better than everyone else. Astra stepped back. No, what do you... I know I'm not. Ortis stepped closer, still calm and confident.
You have to.
No, you don't. No matter how far you've tried to bury it, you know there's a part of you that thinks you're better, more important, more special than everyone else in existence. Maybe other people don't even exist. Maybe me and everyone else are just figments of your imagination, and you're the only real soul alive.
You're the MC.
You're psychotic. I'd never... You're only lying to you, not me, Astra. I'm not telling you to adopt this as your personality, but I'm saying the capacity to feel that way is in you and you know it.
Take
if
control.
you access that, take it on as a temporary measure, you can use that arrogant belief to empower you.
Equip the mask of Tarsa, become the bitch, and defeat that bitch!
To do what your friends and this whole city needs you to do right now. And, come on. Isn't it a little bit satisfying to have someone give you permission to access your arrogance on purpose? Astra stepped towards him with her lip quivering, ready to argue again. But then Kayla, who was still standing nearby, said, You can do this, Astra. Come on, I mean, I've seen you be arrogant in a way that wasn't so helpful to the team. If you can use it for good, then I'm on board too. I know where it counts. You're not actually like Tarsa.
Kick
Astra
our
stared
ass.
at Kayla in shock for a moment, then looked back at Ortis. He said again, You know it feels a little good, right? Cutting loose, letting free a part of you that you've tried to hide from even yourself. You can use it without becoming it. Come on, use Tarsa's powers against her. Tell me
Do
you're
it up.
better than me. With her voice quiet and anxious, Astra said, I'm better than you. I don't believe
Come
you.
on.
Access the part of you that really thinks that.
Say it with your gut!
Ortis said, finally getting more aggressive, trying to get her to match his energy. I'm better than you, Astra said, with
Come
an
on!
anxiously excited smirk starting to cross her face. Louder! Make me believe that you believe it! Excitement flashed through Astra's eyes, but she didn't speak louder. Instead, she spoke more like Tarsa. I am better than you, and I sure as hell am better than Tarsa.
Yes!
Ortis smiled. The confidence in Astra's aura was skyrocketing. You're damn right. Now go show her that. Astra burst into the air, swirling through steam to shift into a dragon, only doing so briefly to snatch an infected Valkyrie. She shifted back to her human form, but still with a dragon-like claw, and ripped part of the virus off, sticking it to her own forehead. Come on, you know you want my power. Try and take it. Part of Astra felt incredibly guilty for how she was acting, but that part was overwhelmed by how free she felt. In just a short conversation, it was like Ortis had torn shackles off Astra that she hadn't even realized had always been there. The virus latched onto her face and overtook her eyes.
Yes!
Astra felt it seeping into her brain, and suddenly she felt a connection to all Tarsa's other minions. She looked up at Needhog, who was just about to catch up to Heath. Sprouting partially mechanical wings, Astra burst towards Heath faster than she'd ever moved, enhanced by the virus. He had just leapt towards another rooftop when she grabbed him out of the air and darted him a few blocks away, dropping him at a safe distance. Heath turned, seeing the virus on her.
Astra, you're not...
No, I'm still here. Now, have fun watching me save everyone.
Oh
She
yeah!
soared back towards Needhog, who had already started coming in her direction. She stopped in the beast's path, saying in her head, I'm obviously better than Tarsa, and now I'm gonna have fun proving it to her.
Yes!
Astra
Yes!
yelled at the top of her lungs. Stop! The dragon kept coming. Doubt began to sink in. Then, a voice came into her mind.
Ooh!
Daughter, do you really think a soulless little whelp like you can access my power? You are a pawn. You are nothing. You were a tool who failed to do your duty.
Astra, you need to end this with one powerful message. Not saying anything, just laugh. Glance up into the left or right. But of course sending the message, it's like mentally to Tulsa, and just say, shut the hell up, Mom. And boom! That's gonna be epic if you do that.
You will never scratch the surface of my power.
Those words may have once cut Astra like a rusty blade to the throat, but in the state of power Astra was in, it just fueled her up that much more. Instead of yelling, she relaxed her shoulders, acting like it was inevitable the creature would do her bidding. The dragon drew nearer, its maw spread, ready to devour her. In a state of pure confidence and certainty, with the safety of her friends in her heart, the channeled arrogance of her mother coursing through her. I said stop. Wind rushed by her as the beast halted in midair. The foul air from its maw swirled around her, but its jaws slowly shut.
Yes!
It really worked. Astra had never felt more powerful and free. Knowing the beast before her was already dead, simply reanimated now by the virus, she said, My friends and I bore of you trying to snack on us, so snack on yourself.
Ooh.
The beast let out a mighty roar, spun its head around, and started tearing its mechanical jaws into its own flesh.
Oh!
The fact that that really worked made Astra's confidence soar even higher.
Yes! Yes!
Ortis could see the confidence emanating off her aura from the distance. He was happy for her, but knew that he'd need to stick with this team to make sure the lesson didn't sink in the wrong way. When you access an inner power like what Astra just did, it can feel so overwhelmingly good that some may be compelled to cling to it in the wrong way.
Like falling into
taking
the
that
ocean.
attitude on, not just as a temporary useful tool, but as a definitive truth. Ortis could hear
Yeah,
a voice
that
from
could
his
be a
distant
downside.
past echoing in his mind.
Congratulations, Queller servant. You've just made another me.
Ortis wouldn't let that be true. Astra would be nothing like McKeeve or Tarsa. She was a hero, and he was determined to help her stay that way
Hell
and become a
yes.
better one.
Didn't end like I thought it would, but still just as epic and confident as it should have been. Love it!
Writing this series is honestly so different from any other series I've done before because I have it planned out so well with all the important events that when I'm actually getting into the writing, I know where everything's going, so I just get to have fun playing around with the details and intricacies of the dialogue and the fight scenes and stuff like that. It's
Well done.
a blast. This is definitely my favorite series I've written now. Although there is some very fun stuff coming up in the Book of Bayou Nights that I'm excited about too. Anyway, besides that, that's all for today, except of course for ending this video on some kind of positive or inspiring note. And the thought I want to leave people with today is right out of today's episode. A really good thing to consider is what is a trait that you think you despise most in anyone else, maybe even a specific person that you think you hate. Because no trait is actually inherently bad, some are just more often used for bad means.
That is
so if
true.
you think you hate a specific trait, there may actually be power in it that you are repressing that you could be using for good if you actually allow yourself to consciously take on that trait when it's useful. It's a good thing to consider, and it's been very helpful for me in ways that I'll probably get into in the future. I hope that's inspiring. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video on Monday. Goodbye.
Alright everyone, that's going to be the end of today's video, and I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the written will be in the description below, and I'll see all of you next time when we flick back on. Until then, this is Fox, signing out. Peace.